Well, what is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gator Guy 231, here with Chris at Hold the Door. Chris, how you doing this morning?
Pretty good, man. This is our
Good.
first. This is like our inaugural
I know.
time to record together. So I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah, what the heck? But anyhow, it's actually a cool thing for us to get together to do. So Chris and I both have been like very passionate since we started FSI about just not only like obviously being winners, right? We like winning. We're here to make some money while doing sports, but really learning how to be a consistent winner. I know you spent a long time on that head-to-head video that our subscribers and just absolutely love, and that strategy. So we've been thinking about what are we going to do to like take this to the next level, and we said, what'd be fun? Challenge each other to a little bit of a bankroll duel. So what we're going to do, I think we're going to do every Thursday morning. We're not really that planned out on this, but every Thursday morning, just recap the previous week. We're going to set a couple goals for ourselves. The first goal is $5,000. I want to get there next week, Chris, and kick your ass personally. But,
Hey, I'm always up for that.
Yeah. So anyhow, this is kind of going to be like the background and like how we're going to do it. We're going to use RotoTracker, which one of our awesome partners at FSI. If you have ever been on like Twitter or Facebook and you see these really cool graphs of players' winnings, that's RotoTracker. So we're going to show you how that works. So please make sure there'll be a link at the bottom. Make sure that you guys check it out. There is some free options. There's premium options. Look, any option is a good option to start understanding your bankroll. Anything you want to talk about RotoTracker, Chris?
Yeah, I use it as you referenced in playing a lot of head-to-head. For me, I can even now sort through opponents. So go to a specific sport and make sure that if there's somebody that I'm losing at a decent rate to, there's no reason to be playing them in my style, since I have a little bit more control over my opponents. So I do think what I always say too is it is amazing when you look at RotoTracker about how much rake you pay over a course of a long time, which is pretty crazy, which does actually affect my
your ROI.
My goal of playing more cash games than GPP as well.
And I think that will be something that's actually really cool about this, because me and you actually we have similar styles yet very different. And I think like that's maybe where we need to go from this. So, and I'll lead off. So I play some head-to-head, but it's not by any means like a ton of strategy behind it. When I like a slate a lot, I'll post, sometimes up to 109. I don't really normally go above 109. It's like, I don't even like to go under 5 anymore. I'll post some 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and then some 109s. Chris, on the other hand, is like nothing under 109, right? Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just always been kind of lately it's just 530, 215, 109. I do if the 530 would get taken right away and I felt decent about it, there's a good chance I pull the 215, 109 and just settle on that. So I do kind of I'm not always just ready to throw the 845 at every slate, just depending on how I feel, but I do kind of let to see. Sometimes I get no action, so that is also the risk of playing my style as well.
Yeah, do the research, do all this stuff, and then be done before you even know. You're like, well, I was gonna watch the game, but
yeah, that has happened. But luckily, more often than not, it has been able to at least catch one player.
Yeah.
But I did, and this is one little regret that I have to, and I always have to make this mental note when we play Champions League, is that on those main slates we get Empire Maker, we get I know Third and Schlong came out, all these guys that don't normally play soccer, and then they get picked up because your block list is not including some of those other
players. You don't have enough people.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
And so that's something that we're going to keep going on. I'm also going to put a notes in here for Chris's head-to-head video. If you want more info on the strategy, he lays that out. There's no reason for us to duplicate it here. Watch that video if you want to learn more about like being we have a lot of members that aren't even using it just for high stakes, that strategy, or using it to start out the $5, $10, $20 level, and having a lot of success for it. So for me, I a lot of times, especially in soccer, that's my main thing. We'll fill up, cash games up to about $10 to $25. And then I love, pretty much filling up all the under $5 GPPs. I still, for me, I treat that as a cash game in a lot of ways, because if you see the ownership split, once you get up in stakes, you'll notice sometimes those 25-cent, those $1 games really can be treated as a cash game with a little bit better ROI. And then love playing like $33 single entry. There've been more and more $50 single entries in the soccer lobby for GPPs, which Chris is allergic to. So we are going to see what strategy, is kind of most consistent. We'll be tracking our ROIs consistently, and really just what I'm excited about and also terrified of, Chris, open disclosure of our results from the previous week. So I think that would be fun and at times horrifying.
Yeah, exactly. I think that part of being so transparent can be a beauty and a beast for sure. But
Yeah.
I think for people listening, just to get kind of that inside transparency on, I feel like you look at the data on how many people are going to be a profitable DFS player, and it's far less than 50%. So to get into,
50, Chris. You're
well,
getting,
yeah, what's that?
I said it's a lot less than 50. It's
Yeah, it's like 25 or something, or less than
no,
that, maybe.
no. Go to your little average results database. It's literally like 5% of the population is profitable.
Yeah, and I know that number is pretty probably pretty skewed too from the people that see the Million Maker hop on for $20 and then lose.
Sure.
But yeah, I know it is definitely not an easy thing to profit long term in DFS. So I think using some of the strategies that we'll talk through in this bankroll challenge here, I think would be really important to tail and hopefully add to your DFS style and see if that helps you profit as well.
Yeah, completely. And I actually want to say this. Shout out friend of the show. Show meaning FSI. I don't know if we have like a show yet, but I think Ryan Hodge actually started it yesterday, if I remember seeing it on Twitter, but posted some like just the massive swings. And a couple of other bigger guys tailed, showing with their RotoTracker, right? So make sure you guys get on it.
Exactly.
But some like $200,000 swings, 200, and with can't say it right. Screenshot life on Twitter. Very few people. I feel like there's like two things that people do, right? They'll post the I risked $51,000 and I got $1 back, but they post that the 1 week just as a giggle, or it's the I risked $3,000 and I made 300, and like there's no like in between. So hopefully with this, we see some in betweens. Chris, I don't know about you. I kind of wanted to say one thing about like my DFS life. I always like there's these times that will go and I seriously cannot feel like I can put out a loser. It's just like, oh, I made a terrible decision. And again, soccer is a lot for me, but I made a terrible decision, got bailed out by a goal in like the 90th minute. And then there's other ones where I know I'm playing well and legitimately it's like a week straight of like, am I ever going to win again? Like, I don't think that's happening. I mean, you have the same thing, right? Even with your style?
Yeah. There's definitely times where, you just get into that rut of, for me, like I just, if I'm running into like top 5% lineups in a head-to-head, in like 3 to 4 straight slates, or my lineups are bad, but I definitely know that, that's a real thing. And I always just try to keep my process and know that it's been really long-term successful. That's what in that bankroll management, like not ever just going over, I don't post 1Ks or, I just have always felt really consistent with where I'm at. So I think, playing those swings, but trusting your process is really important.
I love that. Don't go all of a sudden go on tilt and go, I need $5,000 in volume in this, like to break even for the week or something like that. Like, even with this, despite we're like going to be breaking this down weekly, like it's not something that all of a sudden the day before chasing or the day before taping, we need to chase down to get back to zero. So hopefully that will show. So I just want to quickly do this, Chris, just to start out with the transparency. Let's each just quickly show like where we're at on the year. Again, I think we said that we want to go 5. I'll go first. I was actually, so let's see if I can get it up. All right, so this is my year so far. Obviously we had COVID right in the middle, but so about close to 8,000 in profit. I really want to get to 10 before the end of the year. I have not had a sub 10K year, and I don't think since I started. So I don't want to all of a sudden make it this year, but 9% ROI, which is decent. I just kind of want to show, and something that I need to do that you do a lot different. Almost everything I've got is on soccer, right? So I was close to 8K. $6,500 in soccer, we can see that's about, what is that, about like 65 or 70% of my overall fees paid into the sites on soccer. So, I think another difference between the two of us is that you really like to splash around and involved in a lot of sports. And I think, again, another thing maybe people will see is, you don't have to play every single sport. I really like to try to center on a few that I'm really comfortable with, that I'm can research and put my thoughts into. While Chris uses the beauty of FSI. We haven't even plugged our site that well, Chris. We're great at this, but the beauty of FSI with all of our coaches that are specialized in different sports, taking advantage of that to spread the wealth around. Is that about right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I do try to splash around a little bit when I see an edge. So I mean, that's I guess a big part that is a little bit different with me. Is that you're not going to find me in the NBA classics, the NFL classics, because my strategy just doesn't work in that. There's too many guys playing. There's too many sharp players. So I just continue to find myself in other lobbies that are less popular, because I feel like there's just more of an edge. So that's kind of where I've kind of been. But I don't think that playing classic slates in NFL and NBA are bad. It's just with my style, it just doesn't fit. So I can't share, actually. It says that you are a blocking.
Oh, I blocked you from doing it?
Yeah.
Why don't you then just quickly run down those numbers?
I'll go over it. So overall this year on DraftKings, I am at $14,960 profit. About $235,000 in fees paid. So it's just above a 6% ROI, but that's kind of a number that is pretty realistic to me when I play only cash games. So I'm not going to see the 50%. I'm not going to see something major like that. But there is definitely swings in different sports. If I go to soccer, like you were referring to before, that ROI is close to 10%. So that is one of my higher. That is 9,000 of profit. And then I go and where I, just was being degenerative and played some League of Legends, while I'm sleeping, I'm negative 2,900. So there's definitely
before we got Eddie on board.
Yeah, exactly. But then I go to my Counter-Strike that I kind of picked up, mid-year. I'm up about $2,000 playing that, with about $42,000 in entry fees paid on that. So again, a lot of entry fees. And then for me, just overcoming that rake when I'm playing that so much, it's even seeing that anywhere from 5 to 10% ROI with my style, I'm pretty happy with.
Yeah. And so again, we'll fix that screen share next week, but I mean, I think that's a big thing. So why don't we do this to end on? So next week at this time, what's the goal to say that we've made since the previous show? I'm going to say I want to have been up. I actually want to get to my 10K mark like this next week. So I got a lot of soccer coming up this week with Europa League this Thursday. Champions League didn't go as well yesterday as I wanted to, but got EPL, got lots of soccer this weekend on top of something that's been awesome for me, which is college football. So looking for college football. We just did our NFL recording last night. Really excited about the NFL slate. So I think it's very doable to get to my 10K mark next week. So that's my goal. How about yourself?
All right. So you're setting yours at 10K. So right now I'm sitting at.
So it's like 2,100. It's like $2,100 I want to be at.
2,100. Okay. So I'm sitting at 14,960. Let's say I'm going to go for 17,000. So similar to you, just over 2,000.
Yeah. So let's make sure we pump it in. We'll get that crown season going too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, those crowns, they pay, man.
They do. I just hoard mine.
Yeah, we see that when you screen share. It always just happens to show that you're $300 and some $1,000 crowns, and yeah. But you did use a little of them one time, right? Didn't you cash just a smidge of them?
Yeah. I mean, and I haven't forgiven myself since. You never know when the American currency is going to switch from dollars to crowns, Chris. So I got to be ready for that.
Yeah, that's I save them till I can get to like a 109 or 215, and then I play it, and then I just reset. So
I think I'm getting closer to like a Thunderdome or something.
yeah, there you go. Then you can join the Empire and Osimo Challenge when
Oh,
10 Thunderdome.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I need to like I guess get caught up on that. Some people were talking about our chat. I don't know the whole basis on it, but what's the little tag? Hashtag how rich is
how
that?
rich? There you go. Hashtag how rich. Yeah, or steak and
Hopefully,
fish, whatever one you want to do.
and I was gonna say, hopefully at the end of this challenge, we get to use that hashtag how rich when we see these things. So guys, I do think it's gonna be fun. I hope you enjoyed this little intro episode. I promise I'll keep getting better. We're gonna, really refine what this is gonna be like. But the point is if you just want to follow along, some historically successful DFS players, kind of see some swings. We're going to go over regrets. We're going to go over things that we thought we did really well. All these things. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to Chris. Hey.
Yeah, I'm excited. I love the transparency, and while also hoping the listeners can become better DFS players.
Yeah, and I think I'll send on this. I do just want to say, while we're going to be going over results and stuff like that, this is not like a brag show. I really want this to become, hey, here's what I did right. Here's the process. Like here's what you can do to replicate it. And become a successful DFS player. Because that's the one thing, especially for our members at FSI, I want every single one of them to be, not only enjoy. I say there's two parts to this. You got to have fun. That's the first part of the site, is to be in a community, enjoy DFS, get better at DFS, because it's really, really fun to not only play, but to win, even if it's just a little bit of money, because it makes it, you get to play a game and not like redeposit. Redepositing is the worst. That's the one thing everyone here, any of our subscribers says they have to go to the redeposit window. That sickens me. So yeah. Hopefully we can show some tips on that.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely it. And then always people just make sure you keep your mindset in your realm. Doesn't have to be a 2,000 a week or a 5,000 a year. Like, just base that off of what your comfortable bankroll is. I know a lot of people ask questions about that. Like, how do I make a goal for myself? I want to make 20K too. Well, just start with 1,000 or start with $500. So
I was going to say, this is going a little bit longer than I expected, but like how I started DFS, I never expected to like be part of owner of a site or, 4.5 years later be doing this, like breaking this down. But I started with a $25 deposit. To this day, I'm still riding on that $25. So, I was fortunate enough to like spike a GPP like 3 months in, and then you just kind of go from there. And honestly, my biggest mistake, one of the big reasons I love doing this is I've never actually pushed hard enough. I'm like $150, $250 a slate, which is a lot to some people. And honestly, like based on my ROI and stuff, it should be a lot more than that. So I'm going to keep trying to push that up to stay up to your level, Chris.
All right.
All right, dude.
Well, good. I'm excited.
All right, man. Bye.